My love for meatballs brings me back to those days where my mom would cook and Sunday dinners were so important. I remember distinctly that smell of the meatballs frying in the morning and her getting the sauce ready while I was still in bed. And I kind of wanted to get up so I can have some, but at the same time not get up because I knew there was a list of chores ahead of me. Like all good Italians, we start with 3 types of meat. So we have veal, pork, and beef. I like to use equal amounts, but every household has their ratio. You can choose to change it as you will. Meatballs is a very superstitious food, okay? Growing up, you would never ever eat someone else's meatballs. The Italian Americans do not eat each other's meatballs. They would never even eat meatballs in a restaurant. If there's meatballs on a menu, it's like their eye scans right over it. And if there's 3 appetizers on the left, they only see 2. It's probably because you didn't know A, what they were using in them, and B, if their hands were clean while they were mixing them. Once you're mixing the meatballs, you don't want to condense the meat too much. You want it just binded enough that it holds its shape, but when you eat it, you still want it to have that ethereal feel. So this is actually my favorite part. This is where we roll the meatballs. So there's 2 ways of doing it. One is the good old-fashioned way of doing it with your hands, and all nonnas have their weight. They know exactly every single meatball is perfect. But a good way to do it at home is with an ice cream scooper. After we roll the meatballs, I like to put them in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. I feel like once they're in there and they're a little bit cold, it helps them keep their shape before we start frying them. When I was growing up and my mother would do this, she would have to make 60 meatballs because 40 of them would get eaten before the sauce. We'd stand there by the stove and then we'd have Italian bread, which we're gonna have, and we'd rip it, and there'd be a little bowl of sauce. And as the meatballs would come out of the fryer, we would just make these little sandwiches. So by the time Sunday dinner was ready to be had, we were already full. So gravy and sauce are 2 separate things. Again, it's just an Italian-American translation of it. With this tomato sauce, it's really simple. The best tomato sauce are the ones that you make at home. So if you take the San Marzano tomatoes or your plum tomatoes in the summer, and then you blanch them, peel them, put them through a food mill, cook them, and then can them, so you have them all year round. But not everybody is lucky to have them. So of course we use canned tomatoes. When I was a child on a Sunday morning, there's a round table that there was coffee and bagels in the morning. But as the coffee and bagels were being consumed, the real star of the day was getting ready for Sunday dinner, which is like one of those early 1:30, 2 o'clock dinners where it would be multiple courses. There'll be salad, pasta, meat sauce, copious amounts of bread. We're gonna eat it 2 ways, Danielle. I'm gonna show you how we ate it in my mother's house, and then you can have yours with a fork if you wish. So here's for one hand. We never cut bread in my mom's house. And this is the true meaning of eating with friends, breaking bread together.
We Jews like to do this with our challah on Friday night too, so I'm
sure challah would go beautiful with this. Cheers.
Cheers.
I think my love for Italian food comes from, 1, my heritage, and 2, my respect for the simplicity of amazing ingredients. I think that's really what embodies Italian food. This is Sunday dinner at my mom's house.
For the full recipe, visit theinheritedplate.com.